Hello and welcome back to the On the Slab Horror Show, the show that we bring to you each and every Friday night. Why do I do this on a Friday night? Because Friday night is horror night, ladies and gentlemen. For my guest here, I'll give him a quick rundown as to why we do it on a Friday night, being from the far side of the pond. On a Friday night at 10 o'clock on a channel called Channel 4, they used to put out all the classic horror movies at 10 o'clock. That was your freebie, whether you rented some, whether you didn't. Every Friday, 10 o'clock after the watershed. That was it. Got to see Nightmare on Elm Street there. Got to see House, Halloween, Friday the 13th. That scene with Kevin Bacon scared the bollocks out of me. Um, The Exorcist. I'd seen The Exorcist before I was 12. Same with Nightmare on Elm Street. It was great. What a time to be alive. But yeah, so we put this out at 10 o'clock on a Friday, just as a little tribute to that. It is producer, writer, and director of one of the most anticipated upcoming indie horrors in the business, in a Malibu Horror Story. This is director Scott Slone. How are you, sir?
Good. How about you?
Not too bad, not too bad. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to come on.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Also, just to say, thanks for the screener. It was fucking awesome.
Oh, thank you for watching it, man. Thank you for supporting. I appreciate it.
I'll try not to give too many spoilers away for this, but we'll see how it goes. Things just happen
Okay.
on this show.
Cool.
Tell us all things, Scott.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, tell us
Okay.
all
So,
things, Scott.
so basically, this film for me at least was, as I said, a 10-year journey, and I've been working on this for a while. And I wrote it in 2009. We started shooting in 2010, and now it went to festivals throughout the year in 2022. I think the closest it got to you was Grimfest. Um, and then it is now finally coming out in theaters. Yeah, we did quite well. We won about 70 awards in the film festival circuit, and we feel good and confident, ready to release the film out into the world now.
Absolutely, I can attest to it. It deserved every part of every award that it won. Um, I had a great time watching it. There, it was dark, grisly, um, different. It was a different take on this kind of movie. I don't want to give too much away because obviously it's not out until October 30th, or maybe just out, uh, in and around there at the time of the recording. Anyway, it's not out. So, but it was actually a previous guest that alerted us to this, because I hadn't heard too much about it before this. It was actor Doug Tate that that sent us on the way to this one, and I'm really glad he did, to be honest, because it was fucking awesome.
Yeah, Doug's fantastic. Doug is great. Yeah, like I said, Doug for me was the first what we call creature actor. I mean, Doug's just a great actor in general, but he was the first one I really got to work with. He was a joy to work with. He's fantastic. He's just a great guy, and I think he's fantastic in this. So he's very scary. So
He's very underappreciated in terms of an actor.
it very much so.
I know people tar him with stuntman this or that and the other, but it's not fair to him either. Um,
It's not. It's not. He's a
he's a,
great actor, and he did his stunts. I wasn't expecting him to do his stunts in this, but he did his own stunts in this too. And but yeah, he is just a great actor in general. So yeah,
yeah,
go out and cast Doug Tate.
all around good guy. I'm gonna get to meet him now in November, at For the Love of Horror,
Oh,
when he
nice,
comes over
nice.
to the
That's great.
UK. Yeah,
Cool.
so
That's very cool.
looking forward to that. But do you want to tell the guests or a little bit about the film, without going too deep into spoiling it?
Yeah, so essentially in 2012, four high school kids, right after they graduate, uh, decide to, they're kind of wealthy kids. They're from Malibu, California, which is a wealthy community. They decide to go out on the town. They go out to a rave. And then after the rave, they decide to go up to his grandparents' land to go camping. And essentially, they end up going missing. They find this cave and they end up going missing. And then years later, no one could find them. Like the case becomes a big deal. The news, becomes kind of a big story. A team of kind of amateur paranormal investigators go out searching for them because they think they've got some clues that no one else, that the police and stuff didn't find. And so they go out to the same place that the boys went earlier, and that's when stuff starts happening.
Shit happens.
Shit happens. Exactly, shit happens. Yes.
I'll tell you what though, like I was fully expecting it to be, no offense to indie movies, but generally some of these movies can be rough or not as clean. This was, like, for some of it being found footage, it's very well shot, very well acted, and the script was very good.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, I will say I have that's like one of my favorite compliments I've gotten, like the word polished or just like different, because you know, it it took us a while to get it there. A lot of people will maybe make a movie and then just throw it out there as quick as possible and make the next film. With this one, we really wanted to get things right. I am a huge found footage fan, and I wanted to do something a little bit different with found footage. Right now, a lot of the headlines are screaming like found footage movie, found footage. It is found footage, but it's a hybrid film. It's the found footage is inside of a conventional, typical horror film structure. So doing stuff like that, having kind of a true crime element, a ghost hunter show element, that took a long time to edit, to put together. And shooting the film, we had multiple reshoots to try to get this thing right, because even though we are independent, we are low budget, we really wanted to get this thing right before we put it out. So I do appreciate that. And casting, and guys like Dylan Sprayberry and Valentina and Rebecca and Robert Bailey and Hector, these guys, it was really important that we try to get more authentic actors to kind of portray these parts. So it wasn't, because that's another knock on found footage, right? It's there's a lot of knocks on found footage. So we tried our hardest to kind of do the best we could and put out a product that we thought was ready for an audience to see. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, it seems to be a trait with found footage, isn't it, that they don't use actors that are known, really. Like, it seems like no one wants to do it, really.
Yeah.
Which is fair and it isn't fair. I understand it's probably a lot harder when you're carrying a camera and you want to be on the screen if you're the actor and stuff. But like, there are some really good found footages, and as you says, you wanted to make this one right. The one I can really remember the most about wanting to see, and it kept getting pushed back and pushed back, was Grave Encounters.
Oh yeah, Grave Encounters is great.
Yeah, I waited like 5 years to see that movie.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, to put in perspective, we started shooting. Paranormal Activity had just came out. I saw it in the theaters. I went home and I literally wrote this.
09.
Yeah, it was 09. I went home, wrote the script. It was actually in festivals for about 2 years. It came out in 2007, went to festivals. I didn't get to see it at all. Finally came to LA in October, I believe, of 09 or late September. But it was right around Halloween. I went and saw that, went home, started writing, because I was like, oh, this reminded me of the Blair Witch. And the Blair Witch really impacted me as a little kid. That scared the shit out of me. And I'd seen Cannibal Holocaust, movies like that I'd already kind of seen. I grew up working in a video store, so I was kind of familiar with these types of films, but there weren't too many of them. And then when we started shooting, we were trying to figure out a camera, because everything I'd shot on prior was film, and digital was like kind of brand new at the time. It just kind of came out. And so Arri had a camera called the Alexa and a new codec called Arri Raw. And so there was another movie filming at the same time of us. It was called Chronicle. So Chronicle was filming at the same time as us. But aside from that, there was just Paranormal, and Cloverfield had just dropped. And Cloverfield was a huge movie. It was like a big blockbuster. Yeah. And so there wasn't a lot to pull from. But over the years of us working on this, um, there was some really phenomenal movies that, because I really loved Wreck and I really loved
What a
Troll
movie.
Hunter. Yeah, I love Troll
Didn't like
Hunter.
that.
Lake. You didn't like? Do you like Lake Mungo? Do you like that one at all?
It was
Did you get to
okay.
see that
That was
one?
all right.
Okay.
Yeah, that was
So
okay.
there was, and then As Above, So Below, and The
Didn't like
Descent.
that.
You
Oh,
didn't
The
like that
Descent.
one? Yeah,
The
The Descent.
Descent is just ridiculous. I know it's not found footage,
It's not.
but
It's
Neil
not. But you can.
Marshall fucking crushed it.
Yes, so you could see though probably with those glow sticks and the color of the cave, you can probably see that I pulled a lot from The Descent. Like I loved, like The Descent was so good and so scary to me. I had already shot pretty much all of the movie. I liked The Descent so much that I went back and I started. I was like, okay, I need some like green glow sticks. The cave needs to be colorful because the cave was kind of this drab color in the first couple versions, and so because of The Descent, I went back and did those the green and the blue looks because The Descent is just a gorgeous film aside from being just a great movie.
Neil Marshall absolutely crushed it. I had the pleasure
Yeah.
to sit down with Neil there at the start of the year,
Nice. Nice.
and thing like he directs one of my like The Descent to be in my top 10, sometimes top 15, depending on what way I'm feeling. But he directs a movie that's in my top 10, top 5 all the time in Dog Soldiers.
Oh yes, definitely. 100%. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like you can see the comparisons. Any of those cave movies, because I know when The Descent came out, remember The Cave came out with it in and around that time,
Yes.
which was the big budget American one, and it
Right.
was atrocious.
It was bad. It was bad. Yeah.
Oh, it was like The Mist crossed with a cave, crossed with Rain of Fire or something. I don't know what it was. Um,
Rain of
but
Fire. I haven't heard that reference in a while.
yeah, there was a big flying thing that breathed fire in it, wasn't there?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's got the Matthew McConaughey. Yeah, of course, dude. Right? That's that one, right? Rain of Fire.
No, no, but The Cave had something that breathed fire in it, didn't it?
The cave had, I want to say,
It was like
wait,
a
no,
big flying dragon thing, no?
wait. Are you might be right? Because like there was three movies. Like, yes, the cave did have something like that.
Yeah.
It did. You're right. Because it was the cave and then like the pyramid and then there was one more
Oh
that
no,
wasn't
it
found footage, ruins or
was
something like that.
yeah.
I get them confused.
Ruins was very good.
Ruins I liked. Yes, yes.
Yeah, that was the
The
one with the
pyramid
weird
had
vines.
That was the one with the weird vines. The pyramid had the big like sphinx kind of cat creature, and you're right. There was like a flying dragon creature in the
In the
cave because
cave.
the cave came out before all of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen the pyramid. I've seen the ruins. That was the one set in Mexico.
Yes. And that's not
Um,
found footage. Yeah.
yeah, that was good though. That was the one with the weird vine things that infected people.
Yeah, that had a good cast. That was like a fairly big budget. The pyramid is like it feels a lot like As Above, So Below, at least the found footage, parts of it. Um, I, I you know, I watched everything found footage from like 2009 to like 2000. Like while I was making this, I didn't want to watch anything. But once I had finished a version, I would watch so many of these movies because so many came out in a very short amount of time. Because as you know, the box office, especially here in the States, these movies were making a killing. And then the one that kind of sunk it, which I actually liked the film, it was Phoenix Forgotten. That was the last like theatrical box office. The Gallows was right before that, made a lot of money. And then Phoenix Forgotten was like the last one. And that was 2016, 2017. And then it was dead. And then like they didn't want to look at our movie at all, even though it wasn't fully found footage. Distributor studios are like, if it's found footage, we don't want it. We don't want nothing to do with it. That wave, that ship has sailed. We're over it. And that was
I
kind of
mean,
disheartening. By the time we finally got it
what
finished,
what
no one wanted to even watch it.
what you've got there now is very creative. You obviously using found footage, um, and then turning it into a normal movie.
That's what we had to do. Exactly.
I
Yeah.
thought it was very clever. Um, Especially because I haven't really seen it before done. Um, if you know what I mean.
No, I do. I appreciate that. I think there's one of the Wreck movies, maybe part two.
Like
It's not
you.
Quarantine. It might be Wreck 2, where like it starts off found footage, and then the person with the camera gets killed, the camera hits the ground, and then the movie's like turns into a regular movie. We like step back, we're like at a wide shot. I don't know if it's that film or not. Again, I watch so many movies, I'm horrible with titles, but um I do know that for this, at least, because of everybody was saying, hey, because this was before it was called Malibu Horror Story, the version was called the Malibu Tapes, and it was actually a complete 90 minutes of found footage. And so we took the best 40 minutes of that and put it inside of this movie, and then put it in different areas, inside the ghost hunter story, on the laptop. So it was like still found footage. And then when we shot the movie, we still try to give you a found footage feel where the camera's you're kind of over some shoulders. So it constantly always feels in that vein without kind of breaking that wall, so to say.
I thought it was really, really clever, as I said. Especially because I know some people don't like found footages, but would be intrigued when you see the likes of Dylan Sprayberry and some of the other cast in there, and you're going, "Oh, horror film, all right," and then they go, "Oh, it's a found footage. No, I'm not going to watch that." But then all of a sudden, it's not. It doesn't. It's not a found footage. Then it is a found footage. Then it's not. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's like watching any of those movies. Like, I think Open Water wasn't a found footage movie, but there's parts of that was done on camera. You know what I mean?
Correct. Yeah.
Um, there's parts of a lot of movies, and people have no issue watching that. So what's the difference with this one? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I say I use Sinister and 8mm as examples. So if you've seen 8mm
Two
when they go to the
cracking
snuff
movies.
films,
Nicolas Cage.
yeah, and you get to the snuff film stuff, it's really scary because it is the footage. In Sinister, it's a normal movie, but once you get to the footage, it's super frightening. So those two movies I love, and they're crazy, and those would be what I would reference to help people, because you are correct. I need someone like you to tell somebody, no, look, it is found footage, but it's not found footage, but it is, because you're right. That's what I really want. Exactly what you said was like, I want your average horror fan who maybe even doesn't like footage to still like give it a try. You know what I mean? And make it more palatable for them.
Absolutely. Like I wouldn't be a huge found footage fan. There's certain ones that I do like. Obviously Blair Witch, the original Blair Witch. Got to see that in school. We done that for one of our exams in school on the
Nice.
power of like not social media because it wasn't a big thing back then, but like the power of media.
Yeah.
Obviously, do you remember they
Yeah. I
brought
mean,
it out and it was like it's a true story.
oh yeah. I mean, I lived. I had just moved from Maryland. I had just moved from there. I lived pretty close to those woods, and we grew up kind of playing in the woods. So I
Was it
thought for sure
Burkittsville, didn't it?
Burkittsville, yeah, yeah. So I grew up in Columbia, Maryland. It's not too far from there, but again, it's all woods. And living there, I really got scared when I saw it. You're right. I mean, because there wasn't the internet. The internet was out, but like no one was on it like crazy. It was the word of mouth got around, and then once, like, it's like an urban legend. Once someone told you, oh, it's true, you and your friends went, and then you kept going, and it was again, when it's the godfather of found footage.
It was done very similar to, remember the original Texas Chainsaw done it in 1974. Six college kids were a thing, and I had like the Star Wars opening,
Yeah,
and then Blair Witch done the same thing, but
you're
it
right.
wasn't
You're
really done much between then.
you're
Now there
you're
probably
right.
is movies, but
Yeah, but I mean, they weren't like it like
not not to that
popular,
level.
or yeah, not to that level exactly. Because you're right, Texas Chainsaw would be something that you would see. I mean, parts of my favorite parts of that film are kind of the found footage element with the police and the camera. So you know, I could definitely say that Blair Witch probably just pulled from that, and that's 20 years later, right? I mean, essentially 20 years later, from Texas.
25, is it
Yeah,
25?
from the OG Texas to Blair, and then from Blair to Paranormal was still a great amount of time. Maybe
What's that,
10
99 to
10
99 to oh 07?
10 years. Yeah,
Nearly 10
10.
years,
Well,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, they say everything is a 7-year cycle, right, in the movie business. So after 7 years, you can redo it again. Supposedly, it used to be like 10 or 20 years. Now, with the way we live in this 24-hour news cycle society, I guess 7 years I mean, they're already remaking some movies 3 years later now, it seems like.
So am I led to believe that I'm going to get werewolf movies again sometime soon,
I would definitely say that. I would definitely say that for sure. I
or
mean,
at least good ones?
yeah, all you need is one good one, right? So when The Witch came out, it was like every studio wanted a witch script, like okay, what does everybody
Yeah.
have? And then with each trend, it comes about. So yeah, I could definitely say if someone makes a really good big one that makes a lot of money, it'll become a trend for at least 3 years.
Now, it's only new out by the time this episode drops, but there's one called Wolf Hollow, directed by Mark Cantu. It's got Felissa Rose, Brian Saponis, Spencer Madison, and stuff in it. Um, if you get a chance to check that one out, it's pretty fun, and the wolf looks badass in it too.
Let me see. Let me see. Oh, this one's not out yet. Okay, yeah. Oh, this
Yeah,
looks cool.
yeah. Well, at the time of recording, I've seen it though.
Oh, you've seen it already. So you're saying it's a good recommendation. When's it come
Yeah,
out? Is it already out?
no, it might be out now. I'm not sure.
Might be out now.
Uh,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mark done a good job with that one. Some great humor, great acting, some good kills. But
Nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what
I'll
I've been
have to
waiting
add this
for.
one to the list.
Were,
Okay, cool.
werewolf movies.
Werewolves.
Yeah, I'm a big creature feature person.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I would assume that Universal, if they were smart, they would take a lot of money and kind of go back to their classics and figure out a way to kind of
They're
do each one of
they're
those.
in the process of doing it now, aren't they? They're rebooting it now. Um,
I
obviously
wanna.
Broken Silence or Radio Silence isn't doing the new Scream because they're doing the new Universal monster movie with Melissa Barrera, which is going to be the Dracula's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first of the Universal movies, and obviously Universal have just brought out Rise of the Demeter as well.
Yeah, because I remember a couple of years ago, maybe it was at a Comic-Con or something, a big announcement, but I haven't seen a lot of press on it.
Yeah, no, the only reason I know about Radio Silence's one is because obviously it came out that they weren't doing the new Scream, but they
Mm,
were filming. I don't know what the title is, but it's going to be Dracula's daughter. I'm reckoning it's going to be played by Melissa Barrera because she's the
mm-hmm,
main name in it. But it's being
mm-hmm.
filmed in Dublin.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes when it comes out. But they've obviously brought the Rise of the Demeter out recently. I
Mm-hmm,
don't know whether
mm-hmm.
you've seen that yet. That's
I haven't,
badass.
but yeah, every single I think it just hit streaming, right?
Not for us, it didn't, but
Okay, so yeah, everybody's been telling me about that. I need to watch it. Yeah, so I got
yeah,
to see that one.
yeah, it's brilliant. I was expecting not a lot out of it, and was very surprised. Very surprised. And I
Everybody
do,
I know likes it.
yeah, and I do like Liam Cunningham.
Nice. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, actually, everybody was pretty good in it. But back to yours. This is what happens on this show. You get diverged into a million different conversations.
I'm cool
Um,
with it.
the scenery, even in the build up to your movie, or in the build up in your movie, is unbelievable. Like that's just like something you'd see in someone's back garden.
Oh
So
yeah.
that kind of like finding a cave in your back garden that just turned out to be haunted is
Yeah. Yeah, I
just
mean,
there.
yeah, it's out here, especially in California, the more north you go, LA, there's a lot of cave like structures, and some of them are shootable and some of them aren't. And we had to find a couple good ones and a couple built ones like sets. And one is the Bronson Canyon Cave, which is the original Bat Cave from the Adam West Batman show.
Wow.
Um, and that is right below. This is the trippiest part about it. It's right below the Hollywood sign. So if you're in LA and you see the Hollywood sign, right below that Hollywood sign, there was a park up there, and in that park is a cave, and that cave is the Bronson Canyon Cave, and that is where they shot the original Batman. And we used that cave a lot. We used a cave out in Santa Clarita. It's about 4 or 5 caves to make it feel the way it felt, where it kind of is bigger than it actually is for the movie.
Claustrophobic as fuck.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah.
um, yeah, as I said to you, I didn't want to go too much into the ins and outs of the movie because it's obviously not out yet at the time of recording. Um, but very enjoyable creature. Um, some cool, cool special effects. Um, all around quite enjoyable.
Thank you, man.
Uh, Like I have from my other podcast, we keep a list of every movie we've watched that's due out this year. Now where's the app? And then we rank them as to what's from best to worst. So far this year, I've seen 52 films that are due out this year.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous. Oh, I hit 52 last year. I've hit 52 already this year. 4, 8,
Mm.
12, 16. I have yours at 4, 8, 12, 16, 17.
Nice.
Yeah, and like that's all movies, all throughout the board that I've seen.
Nice.
So 17 out of 52 is pretty good.
Nice. Yes, I will take it.
Yeah.
I will take it.
Top third.
Nice.
I know. Now, within that makes it sound bad, but like that's behind the likes of Spider-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy, and things like that. That's not all just horror films that it's behind.
No, no, that's that. I know what that's behind. That's fantastic.
Mm.
Yeah, like I said,
Yeah,
I will take it.
yeah,
I will take that for sure.
yeah. But as it says, great special effects, great acting, pictures, grisly, dark but clean. And then obviously when it's on camera on found footage, it's shaky, it's grainy, it's flashy, and it's brilliant. Very, very
Thank you.
enjoyable. Obviously, I'd employ us to go and see it in the cinema for all the people in the States that when it does drop on October 30th, or stream it when it comes out, or buy it, or whatever way it's going to work. I don't know what way it works in the States.
I hope we get a physical. So I'm a big physical collector still. I also have a massive digital collection, but I'm a big physical guy. So I'm hoping we get a physical. But yeah, it's gonna be the 20th. It'll come out in the States, and as long as people go see it, it'll stay out, and then it'll go international, theatrical, and then it'll eventually land on streaming. And then when it goes streaming, I'm hoping we get a physical. Even if it's not a big physical run, I'm just still a big physical guy. I think in the horror community, a lot of people still like to hold on to physicals. So I hope we get a physical Blu-ray, DVD, 4K Ultra HD release. That'd be nice.
Don't forget to send a signed one to the G-Man here.
Yes, yeah, you're gonna get one for sure. You're gonna get one for sure.
Um, but I don't want to hold you all of your Friday evening there or afternoon for you. But we'll throw a couple of quick fire questions out then, and we'll close it out for the evening. What would your top 5 rewatchable horrors be?
Oh, rewatchable.
I didn't say it'd be easy. I just said it'd be quick fire.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, rewatchable. Um, Again, I'm kind of more into this is tough. So as someone who makes lists, I have a top 100 like movies of all time list that I constantly tweak throughout my years.
Does
I
number
would
one change?
Number one usually never, like, in my just movies in general, number one usually never changes. But when it comes to like genres, so when someone asks me like, hey, top 5 horror, that can change, or especially top 5 rewatchable horror. So for me, my favorite rewatchable horror movie still is going to be The Shining, just because
What a
I
movie.
I've seen it a gazillion times, and I own like 20 different versions of it on 4K, Blu-ray, digital, each and VHS. Even then, so that's another thing I will stress, is that The Shining is to me at least something you can pick up on something new each time you watch it. So that's why I consider it rewatchable. But I would answer the question slightly different in this regard than probably if someone else has answered it. So I would say The Shining number one, and then I'm going to say number two through number five is going to be go back to eBay, buy a TV from the 80s or the 90s that has a built-in VHS player. Go back on eBay and buy all your favorite horror movies on VHS, preferably like a 13-inch TV VCR combo.
Big
Okay.
fat
And
black
then,
ones.
yeah, exactly, exactly. And then, buy your old this is what I've just been doing this over the last couple of years. I've been buying all of my favorite films on VHS. And these are going to be some weird movies plus so the popular ones would be the Texas Chainsaws of the world, the Children of the Corns of the world, and then the least popular ones would be movies like Witchboard and just weird uh films on VHS and go back and watch them on VHS. They are on a smaller screen by yourself or with your significant other. They are so much scarier on VHS on a little teeny VCR TV duo. So that's what I've been doing lately with a lot of the movies. I've just been because like to me, Suspiria is my favorite horror movie of all time. I love Rosemary's Baby. There's a lot of films that are just Argento is one of my favorite horror directors, and so but the VHS from any movies from the 80s, like and like you said, you like the creature, any of the Friday the 13th, any of the nightmares, especially. I just went back and watched. I'm a big fan of 1, 3, and the new Nightmare from the Nightmare series. But I just went back and
That's
watched
my
all those on
that's my top
VHS.
trait.
Yeah, nice, nice. So I just went back and watched all those on VHS, and they just hit different. So I would just say whatever movie is your two through five or whatever, go back and watch them on a VHS player. If you're a younger kid that never had the ability to watch a movie on VHS, even if it's Scream, I just went back and watched 1997 Scream back to back with I Know What You Did Last Summer, back to back with like The Faculty, all the like late 90s teen
I
horror
watched The
movies.
Faculty the other day. Man,
Yeah,
that's a fucking awesome movie.
yeah, it's great. So go back and watch them on VHS because there's for older people, there's nostalgia. For younger people, you're gonna get an experience. Not so crispy. Everything's crunchy. The sound isn't as good, but it's the picture's not as big. The aspect ratio is gonna be all off, but it's the way to go. I think I just have been doing that over the last couple of years, and I've been having a lot of fun doing that.
Don't forget to rewind the tapes.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, rewind your tapes, but you got to be careful now with these when you're buying them off of eBay. I just rewound a tape the other night. It went so fast it popped, and I was like, "Oh, I forgot about that." There used to be a separate rewinder. So when I worked at video stores growing up, we had these individual rewinders. They were just like it just basically just fit a VHS tape in there, and we would just rewind because, as you know, anybody who brought back their movie rarely did someone respect it enough to rewind it. So
Over
yeah.
here, the video shops used to charge you 50 cents or 50p at the
Oh,
time.
that's awesome. See, I worked for the big company Blockbuster. They would not go as far as charging anybody. They just made us do it. But yeah, rewinding your tapes is crucial.
I had the pleasure of working in X-Division, which is the equivalent of Blockbuster over here,
Nice.
uh, for a couple of years. It was great. Like, it was just awesome picking up all the new movies, going back all the old movies. Me and one of my best mates, we used to before even working there, we used to go in and rent out 5 of the worst looking horror movies we could find.
We
Just for something to do.
yeah.
And
Uh,
we did get a couple of belters out of it now. We got Dog Soldiers out of it.
oh, nice.
Um,
Yeah. So you did.
uh, we got Wrong Turn out of it, the 2003 one.
I like
Um,
Wrong Turn.
got House. But I'm pretty sure I'd seen House before, but
Mm-hmm.
because of the artwork on it, we took it because it was awesome.
Right. Oh,
Remember
the
the
artwork's
hand just pushing
fantastic.
the
Oh,
bell?
absolutely. Dude, like 3 movies have like ripped that off, but yes, just that like skeleton looking hand pressing the bell, and even the house font is still classic horror movie font.
And then House 2 was pretty much the same, but it was a mummy's hand.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. Yeah, that
Um,
it's funny you said that because I had a video store. It was the same. It was 5 movies, 5 days for $5 back in the late
that's what we had.
90s.
5 for 5 for
And,
5.
but yeah, so we used to do the same thing before, because once I started working there, I got all the free movies I wanted. But But yeah, that's funny, man. That's funny. It was my film school, basically.
Just before we finish up, I'm gonna give you a couple of movies to watch. Right? I know I gave you some off screen, but seeing as you like found footage, my boy Jake Robinson has two movies out at the minute. Um, one's called The Mothman. You can get it on YouTube.
He did the Mothman.
Yeah. Well, him and Josh, I think Joshua Brooker done it as well. Um, let's
That
see. I'll
was
get you.
the that was the 2010 version, right?
No, no,
No,
this one's
no,
only
no.
recently.
The 20. So okay, so wait, there was a lot of hype. So I'm a big fan of Mothman in general, right? But I'm a
Yeah,
big fan also of just the original Richard Gere, kind of what I call back in the
it's
day was like an old
Mothman
school
Prophecy.
slasher. Yeah, yeah, the prophecy.
Yeah.
And then the book, and then a lot of hype came about recently in the found footage community with Mothman, but I have not seen. I did not know it was out.
Yeah, apparently it's on YouTube. Joshua Brooker directed it, but Jake, friend of mine, Jake, was involved in it as well, part of a production company. But his movie is out as well at the minute. It's called The Wendigo.
Oh my God. So these are okay. So you're talking about, so this is cool. I did not know either one of these out. You're talking about two of like big hype movies in the found footage community. So when we finished, I'm going to say when we started finishing, especially with Troy, because Troy had did some Wendigo movie. I can't remember which one it was called. But right when we were finishing around 2018, 2019, and we actually had a cut that we were ready to start sending out to festivals, two movies were like the hype train of found footage. It was Mothman and it was Wendigo. You're trying to tell me both of these are out already?
I've seen Wendigo anyway. Um,
Because I definitely have to see these. I definitely have to see these.
Joshua Brooker's Mothman, as far as I'm aware, it's on YouTube. Stars my boy Chenny Morrow in there as well. Um, I'm just clarifying that for you now. Yeah, the Mothman is there on YouTube. And Wendigo is either out or coming out just after soon now at the time of recording. But I'll get on to
Awesome.
Jake and see if he can help you out to see it.
Definitely. These two movies I have been wanting to see. I've been hearing about both of these films for years now. Like the hype on these movies were real for years in the found footage community. So
And then
that's pretty
he's
cool.
he's doing Jake's doing a new movie called My Brother's Keeper about Bigfoot.
Nice. Okay.
And,
I haven't heard about that one yet, but that's definitely I'll put that on my list. Is that out? Is he just now working on it now?
yeah, he's working on it. Myself and one of the co-hosts on the show, Ian, are in it as well.
Oh, nice. Okay, okay. Well, then you might have
Now,
to get me a screener link to that one.
now acting debut. Well, actually, it's just
Nice.
voiceover, but uh, it'll do nicely. But my
Nice.
boy Jake's doing some big things there. Um,
Very cool.
yeah, he loves his elf found footage. Wendigo is top drawer though.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. And then Joshua, Joshua Brooker and Josh Graves have ones coming out called The Woodman and um, oh, it's gonna kill me now. Having a mind blank. The Woodman and oh sorry, yeah, when Jake had Wendigo. And then if you like true crime, another former guest, Devaney Payne, has one coming out called Black Mass.
Black Mass?
Yeah, it's about a serial killer.
Is it the okay, no, okay, so not that Black Mass. So let's see.
Not the Johnny Depp one, no.
Not the Johnny Depp. I was like, I've seen Black Mass, but no. So this one's Black Mass.
Yeah, it's by director Devaney Payne.
This looks like a big movie, huh?
It's pretty good.
Coming soon. Wait, it's not out yet.
I think it's doing its rounds at the festivals, but should be out
Yep.
soon enough.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'll add this one to the list too. This one looks good.
And then I'll give you one more before we close out. It just got announced at the time of recording, it got announced yesterday that it's going to the Joe Bob Briggs Drive-In Jamboree,
Mm-hmm.
uh, in Mutilator 2. I don't know whether you've ever
Oh,
seen the original
really?
one.
Oh, yes, I have. So,
Yeah.
so you got to see that already?
No, no, not yet.
Oh, you're super excited to see it.
I've interviewed, I think, almost everybody in the cast,
Nice.
including Bud. So it's due out soon. It's going for its world premiere on the 6th.
Oh, wow.
Um, yeah, but that's probably my most anticipated movie of the year now. Like I have a mutilator tattoo.
I see. That's awesome. You know what's so funny is like that's so cool. When you're working on a movie in post production, right? Like you kind of especially I went back to back. This film I just finished. We're in post on this as well, and like you kind of don't hear much. So it's kind of like getting out to the world for the first time. You've hit me with a lot of movies that like I heard about, but now are like coming out. So this is quite exciting.
Yeah. When do you think the new one will be out and ready to go then?
We're rocking and rolling on it. We shot it a year ago in Texas, all in Texas, and it's coming. We're probably gonna have it ready in the next like 2 months, so soon.
You know where to go to watch it, and
Yes, definitely,
we'll get
definitely.
back. But I think we'll let you go for the evening. And maybe in a couple of months when that new one's out, we'll get you back on.
Yeah, I would love to.
But Scott, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. I appreciate the screener. And all the best with the movie when it comes out, folks. I do implore you to go and see it. For those of you in the States, when it does drop, if we get it here, by all means, go ahead and see it because it's fucking awesome.
Thank you so much for
Um,
having me. I do appreciate it. Thank you also for
I,
watching it. I appreciate that.
oh, absolutely, I'll watch anything. Like people say they like indie movies. I watch a stupid amount of indie movies,
You
like
should
a
do a film
stupid amount.
festival. Why don't you do a film festival? That's
I
what they
wish.
do. I mean, I've had to be a judge a couple times. They'll send me just a bank of movies, and I'm like, this is a lot of movies to watch. But like, yeah, you should do a film festival, man.
No, I don't know because then I have to pick one which is the best.
Yeah, but you could employ a jury to do that. You could pick your top 10 and then have a jury decide. You know,
Yeah, you could do that, but
I have some friends of mine that run the Unnamed Footage Festival. It's a found footage festival. That's what they do. They basically they get it down. They make their selections. They curate the bill, and then they basically round up a bunch of friends that are either directors or producers or in the found footage or horror world to kind of make the decisions on the best pictures. So I've done that for them, and I thought that was pretty cool. So you could do something like that.
I wish. Nah, I'm too far away for it to be like that. It's grand. Like Fright Fest and others are just there in the UK, not far from here as well. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, but for now, is what it is. We'll close out the way I close it out every other single Friday night, ladies and gentlemen. In the words of the great George A. Romero, stay scared.
Woo!